Sometimes you need to realize you're not actually broke, but you're not budgeting your money properly. And when your money does not have an allocated purpose, you end up wasting that money on things you actually don't need. So in this video, I'm gonna give you a tutorial about the Everydollar app and how you can use it to budget your money to be a better you. What's up? I'm Brandon Young, and on this channel, I teach you how to make, save, and invest money. So if you're new here, consider subscribing and don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss a beat. Now, the Everydollar app is created by my boy Dave Ramsey, and not only does he go over some of the baby steps on how you can build financial greatness, but he's created this app to help you with budgeting and help you to get on track with that. So let's head over to the computer where I'm going to show you how you can use the Everydollar app. All right, guys, so you want to head over to the Everydollar app website. So it's going to be everydollar.com. Sign in is pretty self-explanatory. If I do say myself, you just sign up. It's free. Go ahead, put your information in, your email address and all that, and go ahead and sign in. And then you'll be brought to a beautiful screen that looks like this. Now we are in August 2020. This is where you actually start doing your budget. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to press start planning for August. Now they do have this Everydollar Plus where you get 3 apps. So 3 amazing apps. You get the Everydollar app, the Baby Step app, and the Financial Peace University. But for now, we're going to go ahead and use the Everydollar app just for now. Okay, so I have the Everydollar Plus app. We're going to get into that a little later, but I wanted to kind of break down how you actually would budget your actual budget. So when you first start it up, you're going to get something that looks like this. Mine's is pretty much done, but I'm still going to go ahead and show you how you would do yours. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to put in your income sources or the different types of income that come in. So you can have the choice to either, if you maybe get 2 paychecks, if you get paid by weekly or weekly, you can either put it by week. So you could put week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, or you can go ahead, you can put all of those allocated amounts into one paycheck and then put it into one section. And it's whatever you want to do. I like to personally just break it down bi-weekly so you can get a better understanding of what income sources are coming in. So I've broken my paychecks down into the bi-weekly amounts. And I also have some rental income coming in as well. So I've added that as well. So now that our income section is completely filled out, this is the allocated amount of money for our budget that we have to spend on the different other parts of the budget. So now we can go into giving. So do you have tithes? Do you want to give to a charity? If so, if you want to do that monthly, you can add that in by pressing add item. Then you can put in tithes if you want to add a tithe, and then you put in the planned amount. But we're not going to do that. So I'm just going to leave the giving section pretty open. So the next thing we have is the saving section. So what are you trying to save for? Do you have a fund that you're trying to save for? Now, Dave Ramsey says that emergency funds are really important and you should have an emergency fund as maybe $1,000. We can go ahead and look at the baby steps over here. Because Dave Ramsey says, first baby step, it is to save $1,000 for your starter emergency fund. That is like the prerequisite of the emergency fund. So that's how much you should have saved up. So in the actual app, as you can see, I plan to add about $160 every single month to get to that emergency fund amount. At the time of this recording, I have about $440 left in order to get to that $1,000 range. So that's a good start. We also have our savings account. So for the savings account, I'm trying to allocate about $75 into that savings account every single month. I know that's not a lot, but it's because most of the money is going towards this new property fund. So when I'm trying to get a new property, so most of my money allocated towards savings is going towards that. But if you want to add an item, let's say you want to have a children's fund or a children's toy fund for Christmas. You can go ahead, type that in, and then on the right hand side, you can make this a fund. And then, funds carry balances month to month. So let's say if you make a new budget, it will carry over to the next budget. So you could just make that a fund, and then you can put the starting balance. So how much money do you actually have saved up? So maybe we have about $100, and let's say the savings goal is about, we want to spoil our kids this year, so we're going to make the savings goal 1,000, and we save it. And then we would have a toy fund, basically, ready to go. But we don't really have a toy fund at the moment, so we will cancel that. But just showing you an example, just in case you want to add a toy fund. So the next thing we have is our housing section. So we have some of the bills that I pay on a daily basis. So, we got that hefty mortgage. So that mortgage is that. Then we have our water bill, and then we have our natural gas and propane, which I should actually take out because I actually don't pay for gas because I have an electric stove. So we can actually take that out of our budget. Then we have electricity, and the water is for the whole house, so we'll leave that in. And then we have our mobile phone. And if you have any other expenses for your actual housing, you could go ahead and add that in there. There can be housing insurance, all that, but I particularly like to put that in the insurance section. So if you do have any other housing expenses, maybe some construction, maybe some other housing fees that you want to incorporate into this actual section, you go ahead and put that in this section. Otherwise, you could just leave it the way it is. Now for transportation, that's going to go for tolls. Maybe I spend a lot of tolls because I travel back and forth between New York and New Jersey. So my toll price is actually a lot, as well as on gas. So I'm consistently driving back and forth for gas. But there's other transportation fees that you can incorporate into your budget. So what are your actual transportation fees? This can include, maybe you take a public transportation service to get to and from work every single day. So maybe you would want to put in a Metro card, or maybe you do the Long Island Railroad, anything like that. You would want to add the item, add it onto the list, and then go ahead, keep adding on items, the allocated amount. But since we do not have any more of those actual items, we'll leave that blank. Now for food, I sure can eat. And this budget amount is probably going to have to go up because I like to eat. But this is what it is at the moment. For food, you're going to try to incorporate things like groceries, restaurants. Maybe you get an occasional snack every day. The restaurant part is something that you can take in and out of your budget depending on how well you're doing on the budget for that particular month. But groceries, those are basically a necessity. You need to get your groceries for the month every single month. But for the restaurants, you don't really have to eat out. We all love to eat out, but we don't have to. And, any other things that is associated with food. So usually it's just groceries, restaurants, miscellaneous. So we'll just keep it like that. Now for clothing or lifestyle, what are these things that you do for your lifestyle? Maybe you like to hike, so maybe it costs a bit of money to do a hiking trail every single month. Maybe you like to go ahead get clothes. Do you have gym memberships? Do you have subscriptions to different online websites? These are things that you want to incorporate into your lifestyle portion. So for me, I don't really spend that much on clothing, especially during COVID. What am I buying clothes to do? Because we're not going outside anywhere that much. So, I'm content with what I have on right now. Children care, don't have any kids yet, so we can actually take that out. Gym membership, I've actually canceled my gym memberships because they're all closed. So why am I paying a subscription? So I can actually take that out of the budget right now. Netflix, got that. Hulu, got that. Miscellaneous, that can be any other fees incorporated into your lifestyle budget, but you can add more things onto this based off of the things that you do for your apparent lifestyle. So the next thing we have on here is insurance and tax. So like I said, depending on what types of insurances you have, you may have home insurance, but usually if you do have a mortgage, that one is already put into your mortgage payment, so you usually don't have to worry about adding that. But we usually do have maybe an auto insurance. So the auto insurance, you would want to put that monthly. Maybe you'd have a life insurance policy that you want to add some money to, so you would want to add that. But depending on your insurances, maybe you have renter's insurance or any other insurances, maybe you have real estate tax payments, you would want to add this to this basic list. And then you want to add your debt. So do you have any credit card debt on a monthly basis, or do you have student loans? Any type of debt that you have, you want to add that to that list. So maybe you have student debts, you would want to add that. You want to add the balance of that, the planned amount of money that you want to allocate towards a budget, and the amount that you want to pay so far. So you would put your balance over here, the balance of the actual debt. You can set the due date, so where is the date that you want to actually pay it by. Maybe you want to add the minimum payment monthly, and maybe you want to add an extra payment, so you're able to do that. Now, I'll remove that because I'm debt free from student debt, but this is going to be based off your personal budget. Now, maybe there is a group on this actual list that you don't have. So if you want to add a group, you can go ahead, add a group. It will come up as untitled and you can name it. Maybe you can put in here recreation, or maybe you can put in investing. And then maybe you have a group of accounts. So maybe you have an Acorn account, and then maybe you have a another stock investing account. There's so many different stock investing accounts, but maybe you want to allocate some money towards each one of them. So you can go ahead and put this into your budget so you can have something allocated towards each investing account. You can have so many different groups. It's all dependent on who you are as a person. So we're going to just leave those out for the moment. But like I said, if you do have a different group that you want to add, you can add that here in the add group section. So now once you've completely finished this, you'll get this nice beautiful pie chart on the right hand side that will specifically show your income that's coming in, but it will show where exactly all your money is going to on a daily basis. Now, Dave Ramsey uses a $0 budgeting thing that basically allows you to see, okay, I'm getting this money every single month. I need to allocate every dollar, hence the name Everydollar, every dollar is being allocated towards a certain purpose. So at the end of the month, you should not have any money saved over. You should have every single one of your dollars allocated towards a certain purpose. Now, when I say you shouldn't have any money saved over, it basically just means that if you are planning to save your money, it should be in the savings account section. If you're planning on adding money to an emergency fund, it should be in the emergency fund section. You shouldn't just have any money lying around aimlessly in your account, not doing anything and not serving a specific purpose. Like, each one of these groups has a specific purpose. So, with that being said, all the money in your budget should be allocated towards a specific purpose. So you shouldn't have any wants and needs, and you shouldn't just have your money aimlessly in your account not doing anything, if that makes sense. So like I said, you do have this extra money. It shows you on the top how much money you have left to budget. So, this is the point where you would go ahead, you would scroll down and see, okay, where do I need to allocate some more money? So maybe you want to allocate some money towards miscellaneous. Maybe you haven't allocated any money towards your health insurance, but it's pretty self-explanatory when it comes to the actual budget. And I can't tell you how much this helps, because it allows you to actually see in this pie chart, like, hey, what are my expenses? What am I actually spending my money on a daily basis? And it lets you break down, okay, maybe I can take some money out of this particular portion of my account, or I can, allocate some more money towards this specific part of my budget because I eat a lot and I'm not getting enough food, so I can put some more money into my food portion of my account if I have enough left in my budget. Now, if you're using the free version, you'll usually not see this section up here. But usually, if you get the plus version, which is about $130 per month because they offer 3 different applications. But if you're using the free version, you usually won't see this. But if you decide to use the plus, you can get plus for about $10 a month, or you can do the $130 per year. But you'll be able to actually link your actual bank account to your actual Everydollar app, and you can go ahead and you can drag and drop these different sections into the particular parts of your budget, which makes it way easier. So you don't manually have to actually enter in this information. So you have a Easy Pass Rebill, which would go under tolls. So particularly, you would just go to the transportation section for Easy Pass. You can just drag and drop it, and then it would just allocate the money towards that, and then they'll let you know, okay, you have, out of the 125, you have 123 left, which is awesome. This pretty much changes the game. And this is only if you have the Everydollar Plus app, but this particularly makes it so simple, so easy to track your expenses and to track, what is left in your actual budget. But we're going to go ahead and exit that out. But on the left hand side, you do have some cool features. You have the baby steps. So like I said, Dave Ramsey incorporated the baby steps, 7 steps to reach financial freedom. Baby step 1 is to save $1,000. Baby step 2 is to pay off all your debt except your house. Baby step 3 is to save 3 to 6 months of expenses and a fully funded emergency fund. Step 4, invest 15% of your household income into retirement. Step 5 is children's college fund. Step 6, pay off your home early. Step 7, build wealth and give. I honestly hope you got good value out of this actual tutorial, and you'll be on your way to great budgeting and saving a lot of money. Like I said before, it's not always about how much you actually make. It's about how much you can save and budget. A lot of people aren't broke, they just do not know how to allocate and budget their money for the specific purpose that they're trying to accomplish. So hopefully the Everydollar app will help you to budget your money and lead you to financial prosperity. Watch this video, go subscribe here. I'm Brandon Young, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.